Hello, thank you for joining me. Before we move on to the next episode, I wanted to acknowledge the recent disaster in France. It's been a week now since the terrorist attacks in Paris. Although this podcast is an examination of disasters, it is important to remember that there's pain and suffering involved in each of the disasters we've looked at. Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of France. Many of the perpetrators have been captured or killed, but the network that plans and funds these horrendous acts continues on. It will take a worldwide concerted effort to bring an end to ISIS, but we will triumph because ours is a vision of hope and opportunity, and theirs is a vision of submission and servitude. We should also remember that victims of such terrorist attacks are all over the world, with recent events in Lebanon, Egypt, and Africa. The victims are of all races and all faiths. We have reason for common cause. It is difficult to fathom, but ISIS is not even the organization most responsible for deaths due to terrorism this year. That distinction belongs to Boko Haram, who have carried out most of their attacks in Nigeria. That conflict is also part of the same problem. It would be easy for us to assign blame for the rise of ISIS to one individual Western leader or another. But I think this is a situation that has been building for a very long time, probably millennia, and not just decades or centuries. Learning to live with other people's cultures and values has always been a difficult task. But in the end, groups like ISIS meet their downfall because it is not in the human spirit to be held down or frightened to the point of inactivity. We will find their weakness and defeat them. It is my hope through this podcast to provide you with enough information and background so that we can all work together to avoid future disasters. And somewhere in all of the history-themed podcasts like this one and many others, you can find some examples of strategies used in the past that might work well today. Time and resources permitting, I would like to devote a future episode or episodes to the September 11th disaster and how it happened. In the meantime, we should keep our minds open and not be quick to blame entire groups of people for the actions of just a few. We will prevail if we maintain our core values and preserve our liberties. Thank you for sharing this moment with me.